Hello, Carrots here. Welcome to Eric's story. Decided to tell you a little bit about Eric because he's going to become Oscar's buddy from here on in. Now, Eric has an interesting family tree. His parents are Percy Coffey and Lorna McCann. Now, Percy and Lorna were married by the game when they were all living in Dragon Valley, and Lorna is actually a townie from Dragon Valley. Percy, however, is one of a large, huge family. His mother is Patience, and his father is Tobias Coffey. He's got countless brothers and sisters and half-brothers and half-sisters. I think last time I looked there was about 16 of them altogether, but it's going to grow by the time Oscar arrives and meets up with Eric. This is Eric at the beginning of his childhood. He hasn't been to boarding school yet to do his child skills, so he's only got his toddler skills at this point. We will see him as a toddler, and we'll even see Percy and Lorna before he was born. But I'm just giving you a bit of a look. At the moment, Tobias, that's Tobias, his girlfriend is Hayley, and Tobias and Hayley have had a little daughter called Kathleen Coffey. And when Oscar arrives at the boarding school in Chocolate Cake Island, Kathleen, who is on the right, far right of that particular family tree, Kathleen is a child. She's just aged up to child when Oscar arrives at the boarding school. So you'll get to see more of Kathleen. Now, that's Harry Coffey there. He is Hayley's son. Hayley has two children at this point, a son who is a child, and his name is Harry, and a daughter, Kathleen. Now, Harry's father is Bob, who was Percy Coffey's imaginary friend, and Percy turned him real, and you'll see that happening in this video. Percy and Hayley are half-brother and half-sister. Hayley is actually older than Percy. Her father is Marty, who is the only one that Patience ever actually married. And Patience and Marty had 5 children together. And you can see them on the 5 of them on the left of the second row there. Starting from the middle, Helena, Heather, Hayley, Henry, and Hannah. They only had one boy. And then after Patience ran off with Tobias, Marty married Marcy, and they had 4 children together. Now they had 5 actually. They had Mark first, and then they decided to get married, and they had 2 sets of twins. Mark is married, and he's got 2 children at this point. That is Marcy's cousin. I actually made all those ghosts just so I could join them up as cousins. Sometimes I put the same sim in the game twice, and I usually make them a relative. I gave Marty a brother called Tony, gave Marcy a cousin called Moira. I gave Ted a brother called Alf. Now Ted has an interesting relationship. He has 4 children with Patience, and he also married the eldest daughter of Patience and Marcy and had 2 more children. Or actually there will be 4 more children between Ted and Helena by the time Oscar arrives at the Cake Island boarding school. You're actually seeing quite a small version of the family tree here. This is the family tree just after Eric aged up from toddler to child. It does expand quite a lot, because when Oscar gets to the boarding school, Eric is ready to age up to teen, and he's living permanently at the boarding school. So he'll become a good friend of Oscar's, because both of them are living permanently at the boarding school. Most of the children of Patience who got married early are married to townies from Dragon Valley. So that's made some interesting grandchildren for Patience. So that's a brief overview. That's Sammy, the child, the teenager at the bottom. He is a toddler at the beginning of this story that I'm going to tell you now. Now, Oscar is going to want to go adventuring when he grows up, and he's going to find it very useful to have Eric as a best buddy, because Eric is related to just about everybody. And he's got relations in almost every world in the big game. So he'll be able to take Oscar adventuring around the various worlds, and they'll always have somebody to stay with. It should be an interesting adventure for both of them. We'll start out while everybody is living in Sunset Valley 2nd edition final, which is a custom world. We'll meet Eric's uncle Henry and his wife Siobhan Murphy from Dragon Valley. Now, Henry is the son of Marty, and he's one of the first 5 children that Patience had. She had 4 girls and 1 boy. And Henry and Siobhan have got 2 sons, Richie and Raymond. The next household we'll drop into is that of Giles and his wife Susie. Giles is the son of Patience and Gobias, and he's a full brother to Percy, who is Eric's father. Now, Giles is married to Susie Sackholm from Dragon Valley, and they have a son, Sammy. The game has moved from many worlds. At the moment, this lot are in Sunset Valley 2nd edition final. Prior to that, they were in Dragon Valley. Then they went to Beach City, and then they went to Twin Towns. Now, in this video, you're going to only see bits and pieces from Sunset Valley 2nd edition final and from Twin Towns, which is a town made by Jill Beek. That's Susie Sackholm. They're talking to Heather Hansen, and Gobias is talking to one of the Sims from Dragon Valley. I'm showing you all of these Sims first because, well, it won't hurt for you to get to know them. And I was having trouble tracking down Percy and Lorna. Helena and Ted were married in Dragon Valley, and there is Lorna and Percy at the wedding. There's Lorna. She's an elder. She's so much an elder that she is about to die. She is very old. Her age bar is completely filled up. So I am getting very nervous because Percy's still a young man. He's still a young adult, and he would like to have a family. And he'd like to have a family with his wife, Lorna. Doesn't want to wait for her to die and then marry somebody else. And of course, Percy's a witch. He inherited that from his father. Gobias was a witch when that game started. So here's Percy and Lorna. They've got home. Now, they are, or they should be, a young couple. Been married for a while now, and it's about time they started having a family. But there's a problem. Lorna is an elder, a very ancient elder at that. Percy's been thinking about this problem, and he's finally come up with what he considers to be the perfect solution. He's going to work at the chemistry table, and he is going to learn the elixir of youth. He's also got another problem. His imaginary friend is still in his pocket. So he puts it on the floor. They're pretty good friends, and Bobo suddenly pops up into life. Maybe Percy could make the elixir to turn his imaginary friend real. I hope so, because I have big plans for that imaginary friend, and he needs to be made real. So Percy sets to work. Lorna goes off to work at her job, which is as a world-renowned surgeon, and she's completed her lifetime wish. Oh, Percy just found an elixir. So she's completed her lifetime wish, and Percy is now taken 5 days off work without pay to try to make, or to try to discover how to make the elixir of youth. And Bobo is going to stand guard the whole time because he's pretty sure that Percy's up to something that's really cool, and he just wants to be there. And Percy's also, not only has he got to make a couple of very important elixirs, he's also got to become very good friends with his imaginary friend, or he won't be able to get him to drink the elixir when he makes it. So he's got to keep interrupting his potion discovering activities to chat with Bobo. For some reason, Percy, who was a witch, suddenly decided it'd be a good idea to cast a spell on Bobo. So he cast a good luck spell. Don't know if Bobo appreciated that or not. They seemed to suddenly remember their childhood together, and off they went to have a bit of fun. A bit of childish fun. But if you've got an imaginary friend, you might as well enjoy him. Pay particular attention. Bobo's outfit here is dark brown. You will see him with a different coloured outfit. Watch all the way to the end. So it's a pillow fight. Had to go down to the bedroom to find some space. I thought they might go outdoors, but they didn't. I actually thought I'd failed to record all of this, but I just was there. It wasn't there when I looked for it before, but it's there now, thank goodness. See, it's a very long and protracted process to turn an imaginary friend real. You have to become best friends with them, or at least good friends, and you've got to spend days, sim days, learning, discovering potions, and you get singed quite often as well. Some sims get singed more often than others. Percy got singed a few times, but that's all still to come. This is all about becoming good friends with Bobo. So Percy's working hard at that, because once he gets the potion, he's not going to want to then have to spend 2 or 3 sim weeks trying to convince Bobo to drink it. He wants him to just drink it. At least I want him to just drink it. But the problem with doing it this way is friendship decays very fast. So in the end, it's a good idea to just do it all in one hit at the end, I think. There are 10 potions to discover in all, and it's taking Percy about 3 or 4 sim days to find them all, and he needed to find them all before he got the potion to make his wife young again. Here he is, still working on his friendship with Bobo. That spell didn't seem to work. That's Lorna standing in the foreground. She's just come home from work as the world-renowned surgeon. Of course, the whole time this is happening, I'm concerned that she is going to have a visit from the Grim Reaper, because she's already well past the age that she should have died. And that is Hayley, and Hayley is actually living with Percy and Lorna at this point. Hayley is Percy's half-sister. She's older than Percy. Hayley's father is Marty, whereas Percy's father is Gabias. Their mother is Patience. You would have seen Hayley already with her huge household full of children if you watched the previous episode of Oscar's childhood. And this is a part of Oscar's childhood, but I haven't called it Oscar's childhood because Oscar's not in it. This is just giving us some background on the Sims that he's now going to be living among. And this is before Eric is born, and Eric is going to be Oscar's best friend, and he's going to take Oscar all around the different worlds where they will meet lots of new Sims, but they'll usually have a place to stay with family because Eric is related to so many Sims, as you saw when you looked at his family tree at the beginning of this video. And I'm not going to sit through all of the video I recorded of Percy, or you'll be here for weeks just watching videos of him doing this over and over again. There you go, you just got that one. That looks like it was a blood of flow potion. Now he's found all of his potions, and he's put the Young Again potion in Lorna's inventory, and she drank it. And now she's having a birthday, but this is a reverse birthday. She's an elder, and she's going to be at the very beginning of young adult. And I will be taking her into Creator Sim, but I won't show you that, because I don't really like the clothes and the hair that she's given when she ages down to young adult. There she goes. So I think she requires new hair. Although that is her sleeping outfit. She was in her sleepwear when she changed. But I still will give her. There she is in her new sleepwear with her new hair. Percy's giving her a big kiss. And here comes Bobo. He'll be happy because now he'll get turned real as well, because Percy made the imaginary friend potion a long time before he found the young again potion, but he didn't want to stop in case Lorna actually died of old age before he had a chance to age her down. So now she's a young adult, and now it's possible for them to start having a family. So I will end this video shortly. We won't see any more of Eric in this video, but we will, before we close up, we will have Bobo turn real. So Percy has to go over. It took me a while to work out what to do. Percy has got to click on to Bobo and offer to make real. And then when Bobo accepts, and he'll only accept if they're good enough friends. And look, his heart's for Hayley, which is ominous because he is actually going to marry Hayley. But that's not a very successful marriage. But we'll see more of that in the next video as well, because little Eric, there he is, that's Bob. I changed his name to Bob because for some reason when you type Bobo in the forums it gets turned to Plum. I have no idea why, but Bob works. It's almost Bobo, just take the O off the end. And Percy did that autonomously. Love spell onto Bob. And now that imaginary friend is Hayley's imaginary friend. If you watched the earlier episode of Getting Ready for Oscar, you would have seen her as a real sim, not as an imaginary friend in doll form. But it's not time to change her yet, and I doubt that you will or see Hayley making her real. She makes Pat real when she needs babysitters for all those toddlers and babies she's got later on. But at this point she doesn't have any children of her own. She has not even been married yet, but that's Bob sitting on the chair in front of her. That's her first husband. She ends up with a series of husbands, as you will discover. And that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode. And I'll start working on it right now. Episode of Eric's story, part 2. There should only be 2 parts in it. There's not that much more to show that I need to show you. So bye bye for now. Thank you for watching and happy simming.